Good afternoon. Welcome to the Recovering Perfectionist Mama Grace in Progress podcast. I'm Buffy. Sorry, I had a little bit of a hiatus. Was working on building a system to try to make things easier for myself since I'm a one-man band or one-woman band, whichever you prefer. And so happy to be back. Happy to see you all. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Happy to have you. To give you a little bit of information, I am a women's lifestyle creator on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, covering topics such as mindset, health, wellness, fitness, nutrition, affirmations, mental health, the gambit of things that concern women, including relationships, parenting, all sorts of things in between. Functional fitness, all of that stuff. So, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, also, welcome back. And for those of you that don't know, I don't know if I've announced this already, but I do have another podcast called Gavel and Grace, which goes into obscure or older cases. I've done the Black Dahlia. I did the Memphis 3. My podcasts for that one are going to be the Springfield 3, as well as Charles Lindbergh. So those are two kind of different kind of cases. I actually have a law degree, so I will be exploring from a legal mindset. So you won't hear from me that this person was found like not guilty by a technicality, or this was a technicality, so this didn't happen. That is not what is going to be said for me. Additionally, a lot of crime shows don't have the compassionate portion. I definitely can sympathize with the people who have lost a loved one and who want things done in a kind, compassionate manner. And that is the Recovering Perfectionist Mama way. So today we are going to talk about the confidence blueprint. Confidence is built, not made. Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Recovering Perfectionist Mama, Grace in Progress. I'm Buffy. This is the space where perfection is overrated, growth is celebrated, and confidence is built one brave moment at a time. I'm your host, Buffy, your Recovering Perfectionist Mama, your biggest cheerleader, and today, your personal architect for confidence. Because here's the truth. Confidence is built, not made. You're not born with it. Remember the whole Maybelline commercial? Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. But actually, it's like maybe she's not born with it. Maybe it's made. You build it. One decision, one conversation, one boundary at a time. The myth of natural confidence. Let's dismantle a myth right out of the gate. The idea that some people are just born confident. We've all looked at someone and thought, she's just naturally that way. But that's like saying someone was born knowing how to drive or lead a meeting or walk into a room with presence. Confidence isn't genetic. It's gymnastics. It's muscle memory built over time. You see, every confident person you know has failed repeatedly. They just learned not to assign identity to their failure, meaning they're not willing to accept it. That is not the end of the line. There is still time. There are still points to be made. There is still time on the clock. It is not the end of the game. It's not over till it's over, is it? They treat failure as feedback, not as proof that they're unworthy. And people who tend to struggle with self-confidence tend to think, oh, I failed. That's it. I'm done. It's over. Like, I can't overcome this. And that is definitely not the mindset you want to have if you want to be confident. Let me say that again for the recovering perfectionists in the back. Failure is feedback, not a verdict. You've not been found to be a loser. You've not been found to have lost everything forever or be a failure. No, you are not a failure as long as you keep getting back up. And each time you get back up, you're telling yourself, look, we're still in the game. We're still in the race. There's points to be made. We have time. The confidence equation. Here's the blueprint. The equation that builds confidence over time: reps times recovery equals reflection. Or excuse me, reps times recovery times reflection. So you can't just continue to struggle with something and not reflect on it. Because ultimately, it's almost like there is a hack in there somewhere. There is a cheat code. I wouldn't necessarily call it a cheat code because you'll be putting in the work. But there's something in there that you're missing. And oftentimes it's a little tweak that you can make that can make all the difference. Reps. You have to do the thing. Confidence doesn't come before you act. It comes because you acted. Want to be confident speaking on camera? Start talking, shaky voice and all. Want to lead a team? Start with one brave suggestion in a meeting. Every rep counts. Recovery. Confidence isn't built in comfort, it's built in recovery. Every time you bounce back from embarrassment, rejection, or I messed up, you lay another brick in your foundation, and your foundation gets stronger. Reflection. Without reflection, confidence becomes arrogance. Reflection grounds you in gratitude and in growth. Ask yourself, what did I learn from that moment? How did I grow because I tried? I remember a really hard situation for me. I had a professor, I wanted to be a trial attorney, and I had a law professor who I was part of his trial team. And I looked up to him greatly. Like, I thought that he was, very sharp and all this. And I remember having a frenemy in a group who was essentially, kind of behind the scenes, kind of trying to sabotage me, which worked. And I remember him saying to me something along the lines of, well, you'll never be a trial attorney. Like, that'll never happen for you. And just all these terrible things. And the particular person who had been sabotaging me had actually had, which I don't know how she got into law school, to be honest, but she actually had a fraud conviction where she had lived in another state. And I just happened to decide to Google her and see. And I remember I stood up, and it was really difficult to stand up at that time. I mean, I was literally crushed. When someone that you admire at that time just literally shreds you to pieces. I mean, it's awful. And I was able to stand up. My shoulders held high, my head held high. I extended my hand and I said, thank you for your time. I got up, and I don't know how I walked out, but I did. And I said, oh, by the way, and I had a file that I printed this thick. I kind of chucked it at him as I left and said, here's some light reading on the person who has essentially been sabotaging me. So now you'll have the information that I have. And I walked out. And as soon as I got out into the parking lot, I physically collapsed. And I remember hearing my name, and I was like, oh my gosh. Because I'm a very private person. I'm very emotional, but I'm also very private. And so I remember literally oh my gosh, who saw me? And I truly believe that God sends people for you sometimes, because it was actually one of my friends, one of my good friends at the time. And I just it's well, what happened? And, went into all of it again. And it was just physically painful. But here's the thing I know today. Some people want to act like they know what your future is going to bring. They want to put you down. They want to tear you down, because that's not something with you. That doesn't mean that you're never going to do what you want to do, that they're right about you, because they probably don't even know you. And ultimately, if you're anything like me and someone tells you you're going to do this, you're not going to do this, guess what? Watch me. And I don't just do it because I want to prove you wrong. I do it because that's what I want to do. That's who I am. I don't give up, right? And I know a lot of you don't either. If you want something bad enough, to steal from Tim McGraw's song, how bad do you want it? Are you eating, sleeping, breathing, drinking it every night? Is it the only thing on your mind? Right? So, let's talk about building in real time. Confidence is a living process. You build it as you go. Let's get practical. Here are 5 ways to start building your confidence today. 1, micro commitments. Keep the promises you make to yourself, even small ones. 2, body language. Like I talked about, stand tall, shoulders back, eye contact. Eye contact is very important. Your physiology impacts your psychology. Voice training. Record yourself speaking for 1 minute daily. You'll cringe at first. That's okay. Confidence grows in the cringe. Preparation rituals. Confidence is often just the comfort of being prepared. 5, affirmed identity. Stop saying, I'm not confident. Start saying, I'm becoming confident. You're not lying to yourself. You're leading yourself. So a story that I'm actually proud of happened to me. I'm somewhat kind of a self-conscious person by nature in general. And so I remember going to this Panhellenic event, which was like a collection of all the sororities in our particular area. And so it was like a convention, and I'd been invited to go for the first time. And so I had gone to this event. So I do what I always do, because I didn't know anybody there. It was just me. You know, I mean, I had my sorority sister, or my Panhellenic sisters who had been there, but we were all kind of spread out. So I did what I normally do. Like, I walk in and I want to scan the room to see like maybe who might be friendly, who might be, you know, looking for friends, whatever. And I kind of scan the room and I'm like, okay, well, I think I'm going to sit here. And I tend to like to sit kind of in the middle and like the front middle, just so I can kind of see, like, get like a, you know, scope's view of like what's going on, an eagle eye view of what's going on. And so the first exercise they do, now mind you, none of us knew each other. The first thing they do is they say, okay, we want you to make a snap decision on someone that you've seen in this room. And my heart sunk, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, what are they going to say about me? And there was this girl, and lady, she literally turned and she's like, her. And I see her pointing at me, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what is she going to say about me? And my mind's racing and I'm getting anxious. And she goes, yeah, well, you know what I noticed about her? And I'm like, oh my gosh, stop pointing at me. She says, she walked in, stopped, scanned the room, and then she's like, she was so confident. Like, she's like walked in and like took her spot, and that was it. She was like, I love your confidence. So see, sometimes we might seem like others like we're confident. That is still like probably one of the most like fun like compliments I've received, even though like I was like, I don't know when you think I'm confident, but okay, I'll take it. You know? So yeah, and like other girls were like, oh yeah. And I was like, oh. Right? If you say so, sure. So the confident crash and reset. Even the most confident people lose their footing. And, you know, it's just all part of a process, you know, progress over perfection, right? Each day, do the best you can. Confidence isn't a staircase, it's a spiral. You revisit old doubts from a higher level of wisdom. When you hit that wall, do this. 1, pause. 2, breathe. 3, revisit your wins. 4, ask, what muscle am I being invited to build right now? That question shifts everything from shame to strength. The grace and progress reminder. Confidence doesn't mean never doubting yourself. It means moving despite the doubt. It means showing up for life as it's unfolding, not waiting until you're ready. So here's your challenge this week. Write down one thing that scares you and take one tiny action toward it within 48 hours. Then message me or tag me at recovering_perfectionist_mama. I want to celebrate with you. Confidence isn't who you are, it's who you're becoming. And around here, we build it one brave step at a time. Until next time, I'm Buffy, and this is Grace in Progress. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you'll come back and see us again soon.